Okay, guys, we have a lot to get through. For those of you who remember, this is going to be our second round of the startup. We have 16 teams here today who have been pre-selected by their own mentors to fight it out in cage matches. So the way this is going to work is that two teams who have the same mentor will come out and each team will present for 2 minutes. All of the mentors will give a little bit of feedback, and then their own mentor will decide to keep one team and kill one team. I would really appreciate it if you guys could show a little love, applause, react. If you don't like what somebody's saying, including a mentor, feel free to make your feelings known about that as well. The reason why this matters is because at the end of class, the 8 eliminated teams are going to come up on stage and you all will save one of them. So the class is going to save one of the eliminated teams today. That's why we asked you to bring a computer or mobile device, which normally I very crankily ask you to turn off or shut down. Today there will be a 1 through 8 survey monkey, and you guys will decide which team gets saved and gets to move forward in the competition. Because most entrepreneurial journeys start out with trying to solve a problem, we have asked the teams today to very succinctly tell you, this is the problem we're trying to solve. And when we went out and talked to customers or people who we thought cared about our solution, this is what we found out. So without further ado, and there is one substitution today. One of our mentors got stuck in Chicago, so Matt Gibson from the Center for Entrepreneurship will be guest starring for Team Waddington Fortino. So please give a warm 407 welcome back for our mentors, Amy Sell, Doug Neal, Don White.
I need a dollar, that's what I need. Hey, hey. Well, I need
and special guest star, Matt Gibson.
Said I need a dollar, that's what I need.
Now, once again, ladies and gentlemen, these teams are going to be called out in pre-selected matchups by their mentors. First up today is a Fortino-Waddington matchup of Hiveland and Healthy Share. If I could have Hiveland come take the stage, they'll have 2 minutes. Hiveland?
Is this Sahan? All right, cool. Cool, it's great to go first, but not really. So let's talk about bees today. How many people in the audience eat apples, almonds, or cherries? Anybody? None of that would be possible without bees. So actually, beekeepers last year made about $1 billion. Farmers have paid up to $1 billion to beekeepers for their bees to pollinate crops. And bees are contributing to about $20 billion of crops every year. And like, that's crazy. But no big deal, you know? Interestingly though, beekeepers and farmers are having a really hard time finding each other because this is like a really relationship-driven business, and so far they've basically just had a beekeeper and a farmer partner with each other for like the last 10 years, and they've just supplied to each other, right? But because of this new thing, bees are dying out. It's called colony collapse disorder, and so bees are dying, and because of the harsh winters, particularly in Michigan, a lot of colonies have died. We talked to a beekeeper who had 2,000 bees, and half of them died this winter. So now, like, the industry is shaking up, and like, we have to start finding more beekeepers. Farmers have to go logistically and find new people, and they're having a hard time doing that because there's literally no way for them to find each other. They have to call a guy who knows a guy. So we talked to a farmer, and we're like, how do you find beekeepers? And he said Craigslist. To put that in perspective, $20 billion each year of agriculture is created through Craigslist. Like, that site belongs like selling broken iPhones, not feeding America. So And with customer discovery and our beekeeper side, it was the same thing. One beekeeper said he literally drives farm to farm, knocking on doors, asking if they need bees. Clearly, this needs to stop, and there's a market for this. So that's what Hiveland is doing. We're connecting beekeepers and farmers. So we launched a website about a week ago. We've raised about $1,000 in grants so far, and we're really excited to go forward. So.
All right, thank you, Hiveland. All right, good job. Now, taking the stage in the second part of this first cage match, please welcome Healthy Share.
Last semester, my roommate had mono, and before she was diagnosed, a friend and I shared a drink with her, and we both ended up getting mono as well. A product such as Healthy Share would have prevented us from getting sick and would have greatly improved my first semester of college. We surveyed this class and multiple Big Ten sororities and fraternities and found that 53% of you said that you frequently share drinks with others, and in Greek life, it was an overwhelming 90%. Clearly, many other people experienced the same drink sharing problem as I did. We also found that nearly 50% of you said that you have gotten sick after sharing drinks, and in Greek life, 75% agreed. This is not acceptable. Healthy Share can prevent these large populations of people from getting sick. Healthy Share also solves problems for marketers. Each year, tons of promotional items are given away by businesses. We interviewed a local business marketer, and he told us that students don't find traditional swag items interesting, so they don't keep them or even think much about what is on them. Healthy Share can solve this problem that business marketers find relevant.
Healthy Share targets college students and marketers, being the consumers and customers. In our research, we found that 74% of you and 84% of Greek life would use Healthy Share if it was given out as a promotional item. From there, we can pitch to marketers saying that there is an overwhelming number of people who would be interested in their product or understand their name if it were given out to them for free. To make our product more appealing, we are also making it dual functioning as a shot glass and as a personal bottle mouth in one. We also interviewed the same guy, and he said that Healthy Share provides something new to students that could potentially catch their attention, which is what businesses fight for. And he thinks it's a unique way to promote products to college students. It's profitable and interesting to other businesses. He also severely stressed the importance of getting the name out to the college students.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Healthy Share. Hiveland, if we could have you back on stage. Amy, if I could have a quick comment based on these two teams, who are you going to advance if it were up to you?
I kind of like Hiveland. I like how they connected with the audience. I think they've got a key problem that they're solving, and they've done some good customer research to date.
Lovely. Doug?
Oh, I think they both did a great job. I think Hiveland, you missed an opportunity to tell a love story about the bird and the bees, right? You were kind of headed down there, matchmaking. But I have to say, I like the Healthy Share attention to detail in your customer discovery research and the questions you posed. So I would select Healthy Share.
Don?
Well, I live on a farm, and so I'm definitely inclined.
Get out of town.
I do. So I'm definitely inclined to.
So you're drinking with others a lot, or you're raising bees? Where's this going?
Well, I was impressed by their market segmentation.
Okay.
But my heart's with the bees.
Okay, Matt, you're standing in as the mentor today for these two teams. So the final decision has been designated to you. Thoughts and then a selection?
Well, I agree. They both had good presentations. I think I appreciated Healthy Share's enthusiasm and some of the research they did. But at the end of the day, I have to choose Hiveland for the passion which they have to make this world a better place. And I think they're going about it with a lot of focus and effort.
Congratulations, Hiveland. You're moving forward. Healthy Share, let me please remind you that you're not out of the running yet. I think there are a lot of people in this audience who relate strongly to your product. Perhaps you will be a class save. Coming up, we have our first Doug Neal matchup. Could I please have Ballot on the stage? You have 2 minutes.
So for those of you who don't remember, Ballot is a mobile platform where users can go online and learn about policies that are relevant to them. Users can then vote on legislation and voice their opinion in the democratic process, all the while creating a profile for themselves to match themselves with their perfect candidate. What we're doing is solving the problem around information around legislation, communication with representatives, and a method of self-evaluation for everyday individuals. So we started off with two main hypotheses. The first was that people at some fundamental level care about politics. And the second was that people want to have their voices heard. And what we found was amazing. We interviewed around 110 people that amounted to 750 minutes of customer discovery interviews. 75% of the people that we talked to ultimately did not care about politics. Only 25% of the people that we talked to were actively trying to make a difference in their communities through political and social change. This was disheartening because this completely disproved our initial hypothesis. But we found something far more interesting. 90% of the people that we talked to had at least one issue that they very passionately cared about. Whether it was race, NASA, genetics, high school education, these people were actively trying to pursue solutions in the political and social sphere, contacting their representatives and talking to their friends about these very specific issues. We learned a lot of things through customer discovery, but the most, including finding out what our target customer market was, their race, their gender, their age. But the most important thing that we learned was that we were wrong. People ultimately don't care about politics. People care about issues that matter to them. And the ultimate goal of ballot shouldn't be to flood users with every bill that goes through Congress, but to bridge the gap between people and politics in a more contextualized and personalized platform for every user. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Next up in this cage match, please welcome Lexica. Lexica.
Hello, I'm Gustavo, this is Noah. We are Lexica here again. When we started building Lexica, we started it because we think there's a better way for everyone to search through audio files by searching inside its content and not just by a title or a tag. Well, after we did this first sprint, we decided to find a specific market, a specific target customer. And for obvious reasons, we choose lectures because, well, we are here in the university and you find, wow, maybe students want to see lectures again and find specific parts of these lectures. Then we went through some customer discovery process. And the good thing about customer discovery, also the bad thing about customer discovery, is that sometimes you find out you are wrong. And we were wrong, especially because we found out that only about 3% of students see a lecture more than once. And the ones who see only once online, they actually usually didn't go to the class, so they don't know what to search for. So our solution was not good for our students. And then, basically, we terminated this part of customer discovery, and now we are going through other hypotheses. Basically, what we are trying to do now is to develop a developer program so as we can build an API and find specific developers who need to build something inside their platforms to search for audio content. For example, audio content managers might want to do that. I can't guarantee that because we didn't went to customer discovery for this specific customer target yet to find out exactly if this is the problem for them and if we have the right solution.
Lexica, thank you. I got to stop you there. Okay, could I have Ballot please come out on stage? So ladies and gentlemen, this is where we have a teachable moment and one of the reasons why we do customer discovery. Both of the teams in this cage match went into this with an assumption about what problem they were solving and who their customer was, and both of these teams found out they were wrong. So the question, mentors, is do two wrongs make one right? Dawn, what are your thoughts on these two teams?
Well, it's great to see two teams that are willing to admit they're wrong, because we all know that you gotta be wrong a couple times in entrepreneurship to get it right. I guess it sounds like the ballot is closer to having a viable hypothesis or thesis for it, so I would vote for them.
Matt?
So I also appreciated especially Ballot's presentation because you guys were able to segment your customers in a way that actually resonated with me. So I learned something about myself. I kind of fall into that category that you're talking about of someone who doesn't care as much about politics, but maybe cares about one or two main issues. And so for that, I would vote for Ballot.
Amy?
Yeah, I'm also impressed with Ballot. I mean, both of you, it is great to pivot and to learn from things and to constantly be moving around. But I'm very excited about the Ballot's potential to bring more connectivity between constituents and their government reps. I think anything you can do to improve government right now would be great.
Doug, the other mentors all seem in consensus. What are your thoughts?
I'm actually proud of both teams. They did a great job going out there and testing hypotheses, learning from the market, learning from the customers. That's what this is all about. So it's a great job. Lexica, you did a great job. I appreciate the sharing the knowledge of what you've learned in that process. And Ballot, you guys did a great job in segmenting and finding insights from your data. So Ballot, you have my vote.
Ballot moves on. Congratulations. Lexica, stick around. Next up, we have Fruit Fairies. Fruit Fairies, you have 2 minutes on the clock.
All right. As a student, I don't always eat as healthy as I should. I know I've gone weeks where my diets consisted mostly of ramen noodles, and the only vegetables I get are from the lettuce and Jimmy John's sandwiches. But recently, Dentsu and I have had more fruits and vegetables in our house, and I've started to notice the positive effect eating healthy has had on me. I've been more focused in class, I've had more energy, and overall my mood has just been better. And I don't think as a student it should be as hard as it is to eat healthy on this campus. So over the course of the past month, Dentsu and I have gone to all the stores and places around campus that have fruits and vegetables, and we've noticed a common theme. Either the fruits and vegetables are low quality and lack variety, like in the dining halls or at Walgreens, or they're too expensive, like at Babo or Replenish. And without a car, it's almost impossible to go to the grocery store unless you want to sit on the bus for an hour.
And from what we've found, students agree with us. Over the weekend, we went all over campus dressed in these huge, ridiculous fruit costumes and talked to people. We actually talked to a bunch of people in this class. Shout out to you guys. It was really fun, but we did find that most people were not content with the availability and the price and the quality of fruit on campus and all produce. But one of the main things that stuck out to us was that most of you guys were motivated, you were interested, you wanted to eat better, but felt like you couldn't, felt like it was a challenge. And that's a problem, that's what we're trying to solve. So what you guys can do is subscribe to have fruit, vegetable, and a bunch of other delicious, healthy food baskets delivered to your doorsteps every Sunday at really, really affordable prices. As Eric said, eating healthy should not be a luxury. It should be easy, it should be affordable, it should be enjoyable. That's what we're going for. We've got a Kickstarter coming out on Monday, and if that's successful, we can make deliveries to you guys.
I got to stop you there. Thank you very much. Okay. Let's go green, and let's go right away.
Hi there, my name is Praveen Loganathan, and I'm the co-founder of Go Green Technologies. And I want you to think back to that home you grew up in. Think back to that dream home that you want to live in, and think about adding renewable energy. Well, that's where you hit a road barrier, because what happens is the leader in this market for residential renewable energy is solar panels. And I feel like whoever created solar panels never lived in Michigan, because when you go, it's about 6 feet of snow, and it's like negative 20 degrees outside right now. Therefore, solar panels and batteries are not efficient year-round. So we offer solar, wind, and hydrogen technology to the homeowners. We offer solar panels to the roof, a wind turbine camouflaged to the chimney for your roof, and then we store it all in hydrogen gas powering your home. Therefore, offering an affordable, year-round, safe, and aesthetically pleasing solution for the homeowner. So we went out and we asked our customers, and we said, what are you interested in? And they said that they were all wanted renewable energy. We all want to make a greater impact in this world. And what happened was there were 4 main demographics interested. There was the rising adult and the young settlers. These people were interested in adding green technology, but they hadn't found their dream home. And you want to put this technology on your dream home because that's what you're going to love and care about. The people most interested were the home improvers, the families, and the golden agers. The golden agers, the retirees. They had the disposable income to afford technology, and they were quoted constantly saying they wanted to give a better tomorrow for the future. Therefore, they also want to sell their technology to homeowners, to the rising adults and the young settlers. So they're most interested in our technology. Better yet, Go Green doesn't just ask their customers, we provide for them. We do solar installations in Michigan and Maryland, and we're ready to go home and add more technology. So who's ready to go green or go home? Thank you.
All righty. If I could have Fruit fairies. I don't know if I won a solar panel mentors, but I certainly feel like I was just saved. So, we're going to start with you, Matt, and I'm running a little long, so quick comments. Who would you go for?
Well, I think they both did great customer discovery. I appreciate Praveen channeling his inner Chris Rock during his presentation. And for that, I think I'd have to vote for Go Green.
Amy?
Do you want to end with me?
Oh, yeah, sorry, your team. Sorry, we're running long. Amy, who is it? John, what are your thoughts?
Wow, these are both great presentations. I think that for sheer, guts to get out there in those fruit fairy costumes and talk to your fellow students, I'll take the
Fruit fairies? Okay, Doug?
Both did a good job. I think the fruit fairies did a better job of embracing the customer discovery and testing different hypotheses, so I would actually go with them.
Amy, what's your decision?
Well, as you know, I was struggling with this. I love them all. They've both been extremely committed, and I know they're both going to be great and very successful. I gave a slight nod to Go Green because of the intellectual property they have and that they already have a customer. But I'm going to fully support Fruit Fairies and put in for their Kickstarter campaign, and I hope that they make it to the next round on the People's Choice vote.
Awesome. Thank you all very much. Congratulations, Go Green. Okay, next up, please welcome Cook For Me.
Thank you. As a person who has grown up on home-cooked food with family and friends, I really value authentic food, be it any cuisine. Everywhere I've lived, Singapore, Chicago, and now Ann Arbor, I've seeked out the authentic food experience. But increasingly, I'm seeing that this experience is being replaced by standardized menus and standardized tastes by the commercial food industry. But there's a glimmer of hope. Wherever I have been invited to parties at home or given food that's made by coworkers or friends at potluck, I've really enjoyed those experiences. My Turkish friend Bahar comes to mind. She's an amazing cook. And I want to recreate those moments and share it with everyone. So Cook For Me is an online platform that enables cooks like Bahar to share and sell her food within the community, within the comfort and convenience of her kitchen. So we talked to cooks, chefs, and cooking enthusiasts and find out what they like to do. They really like to cook the food they're good at, where they're most comfortable, and they'd like to control their schedule. And they'd love to serve you in the end. So customers are everywhere, and they're always hungry. Some like to eat food that is adventurous. They like to try something new. Some like to eat food that they grew up on. Some like to save time. But everybody likes to spend money on better food. So Cook For Me will get you there. And what's best about Cook For Me and eating, it's recession-proof, and it's so scalable. Once we get it started and running in Ann Arbor, we can scale it up to any other city and college town. So it's the age of a shared economy, and help us and support us to enable Cook For Me to get food love to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Cook For Me. Joining Cook For Me in this battle round is Better Hope. Better Hope, take it away.
There is a new consumer vanguard who not only cares about the quality of their products, the style of their products, but also where they came from and what impact they have on the world. We're seeing this across product categories. Conscientious consumers go to Whole Foods or the farmer's market to connect more closely with the food that they're eating. They drive hybrid cars because they know that it has a lower impact on our environment. They prefer to buy expensive fair trade coffee because they know that producers are earning a better living from those higher wages. And they're even paying more for green cleaning products. I've interviewed hundreds of conscientious consumers to really understand what are their needs as they're searching for products in this very complicated space. Time and again, I heard, as it relates to clothing, that it's just too hard. You know, they know of Patagonia, they know of 10,000 Villages, but beyond that, where do they actually find a wardrobe that's appropriate for school or for work? Additionally, they shared stories about how they really wanted to connect with the people who make the products. They shared stories of going to Mexico and buying a poncho that was hand woven by women, and how might that become part of their daily purchases for any piece of clothing. And so in the sum of my customer discovery is that finding ethical clothing is painful. There's this balance between wanting to do the right thing but not knowing how to, and that creates a lot of guilt. So my target customer is a niche of the millennial mom, because they deeply, deeply care about social and environmental issues. They're digitally connected and share information and want to connect to stories about these different types of clothes. And finally, they also are see companies
Have
as
to stop you
a
there,
role
Better
in
Hope.
this
Okay, if we could have Cook for Me out on the stage. This is Dawn's first matchup, so Amy, we're going to start for you, the feedback.
Yeah, sure. Better Hope, great job with the presentation and the graphics. I love it. But since I know a lot of people who love to cook and love to eat, I'm going to go with Cook for Me.
Doug?
I really liked how both of you had approached the problems you're trying to solve. Obviously, you're very passionate about it, which is great, and that's a key ingredient. I think, though, the archetype of the customers you came up with in Better Hope is a really good learning, very specific, identified target customer, so I'm going to go with you.
Okay, Matt?
I also think you guys did a good job of trying to understand your customers really well. But I agree with Doug also that I especially appreciated Better Hope's efforts in trying to understand their customers. Dawn,
the other mentors are split. Who are you going to give the nod to?
Well, I think Better Hope has done an amazing job, and that you're tremendously committed to what you're trying to do. But a third of all meals in this country are eaten outside the home. And I think that the market opportunity and the commitment of Cook for Me is terrific, and so I'm going to go with them.
Cook for Me moves along. Congratulations, Better Hope as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we've now circled all the way through once. We have 4 more matches, and up right now, please welcome Medio.
My name is Chase, and I was diagnosed with diabetes a month ago. It affected my dietary lifestyle so much that as a senior in engineering, I switched to nursing. Chase is just one of 41 million Americans that have food allergies or diabetes, struggling with the inconvenience and the safety issues of finding what they can eat. And this community is growing. Over the past 10 years, food allergy diagnoses are up 50%, and it's projected by 2050 that 1 in 3 Americans will have diabetes. Medio is focused on the problem of finding, accessing, and knowing about safe-to-eat and nearby foods.
Chase is just one of over 500 people we interviewed and surveyed to really help determine who our initial adopters are. Is being healthy important to you as it is to him? Well, odds are it probably is. 73% of the college students we interviewed want to be healthy, yet 40% of them ranked health as the least important preference compared to taste and cost. But for people with dietary restrictions, choice is an everyday issue. 98% of the people we interviewed with food allergies and dietary restrictions have problems finding or curating foods, and 96% have to ask their servers what's in the food or what it's cooked with. These can be daunting tasks given how life-changing some of these situations already are. So it's especially surprising that 100% of those interviewed don't have a go-to source for information, and instead have to search various online sites or ask friends and family who may or may not have the same problems. We really envision Medio helping those with food allergies and dietary restrictions to conveniently find healthy options that fit their lifestyle. Thank you.
Thank you, Medio. Next up, we have Puffberry.
Unheard, marginalized, neglected, ignored. Gone before they're gone. These are the phrases that people with ALS must say about their own lives. Across the United States, over 30,000 people are estimated to be struggling with this disease, and next year another 6,000 will be joining them. ALS is a debilitating disease that causes paralysis and eventually the inability to speak. To combat this, current devices use head and eye movements to help patients communicate. But here's the problem. Current devices use muscles that cause effect on the person themselves, so these devices can't be used by them. They are a temporary solution to a permanent problem. From our research, we found that current devices also have steep learning curves, and this gives patients one of two options. One, spend an excessive amount of time learning a device only to have it taken away from them when their disease progresses, or two, become frustrated with the difficult controls, give up, and remain unheard. However, we and many others feel strongly about a third option, Puffberry. Puffberry uses puffs of air to communicate. This is a faster, easier method of communication that uses muscles that are not typically affected in the early stages of ALS.
Over the past few weeks, we've talked to patients, families, doctors, and over 50 ALS-A association chapters across the entire United States to figure out if this problem really is the problem. Executive directors and care service coordinators at every single one of those chapters have expressed a need for a device with a much shallower learning curve. Speech pathologists who actually prescribe these devices to patients witness the frustration and helplessness when patients are unable to interface with such difficult devices and ultimately give up and choose to remain unheard instead of dealing with such a crappy device. Patients and families also express this need to communicate with their loved ones and stay a part of their life as long as they possibly can. We've also discovered means to expand Puffberry, connecting it to the internet, interfacing it with mobile phones, allowing for emails and text messages to be sent with our device would allow people to communicate with people all around.
I'm sorry, guys, I got to pull you up. Congratulations. Let's bring both teams out. Congratulations, mentors. Sounds like a lot of hard work this week. We're going to start with you, Amy.
Great presentations, great research. This was very tough, but I think the passion and the cause of pursuing, that Puffberry is pursuing, gets them my vote.
Doug?
This is hard. I wouldn't want to make the final decision on this at all. Both are very worthy causes and great teams. Medio, I love the story, the way you connect with the audience right out of the gate. That's really important, great pitch. But I have to agree, the depth of the data research in Puffberry wins my vote.
Dawn?
Well, I'm like Amy and Doug. I think both of you guys are working on really important problems and clearly have a lot of commitment to what you're doing. On the other hand, I think I'm going to go for Medio because they've got such a big problem that's growing and really needs to be addressed in public health.
That's awesome. It's a good match when there's a split panel. So, Matt, what's the deciding vote going to be today?
This is a terrible position to be in. Because I loved both of your pitches. Medio is doing this massive, solving a massive problem, and Puffberry is focusing on a problem that gets very little attention. But I agree with Amy and Doug that Puffberry, the depth of their research, I'd like to advance them.
Puffberry, congratulations, Medio. Nice job as well. And remember, nobody's out until class is over. Next up, we are going to very quickly welcome Doug Neal's next matchup, Dynamix.
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm Ellie Fox, and this is Olivia Rice. We are here representing Dynamix. Dynamix is a startup that seeks to minimize the in-house injury within nursing homes and hospitals. After doing some market analysis, we were astounded by the numbers.
Last year, over 71,000 nurses suffered back injuries related to patient transport, and a typical nursing home of 100 beds reports 100 to 200 falls each year. These factors contribute to the 1,800 individuals who will die this year due to falls in nursing homes.
The way the industry is handling the problem today is absurd. The common protocol for transferring a patient from wheelchair to bed is 10 to 15 minutes. We are currently prototyping a wheelchair that will achieve this in under 5 minutes. Our wheelchair goes from a seated position to a completely flat bed and then is able to be lifted to the same level as the patient's bed, making transport effortless and efficient.
Through our customer discovery, we have reached out and interviewed a hospital president, a nursing home CEO, risk managers, and multiple patients. Each have given us positive feedback and are enthusiastic about our product. These interviews has helped us determine our customer segment as hospitals and nursing homes. In addition, we plan to sell our chair through online sources. We are excited about our company and our product, and we hope you are too. Thank you.
Thank you. The other half of this matchup is Rush Trainer.
So years ago, my dad had an idea. He was coaching high school football, and one of his biggest challenges was creating a sense of urgency during practice. He envisioned a tool that could simulate game timing, activate automatically, and provide feedback to coaches and players. We took this idea, and the Rush Trainer was born. We saw two potential markets for customer discovery: recreational and institutional markets. We started by interviewing more than 50 casual players. So what did we find out? Timing isn't an issue for everybody, and some marketing is required to educate consumers. While they enjoyed using the Rush Trainer, the price point was a little high given our current costs. So we do have a consumer product, but there's some challenges associated with this market. So we then shifted our focus to institutional markets.
Originally, we thought that Rush Trainer would be extremely useful for officiating leagues, but a youth league owner, Chris, explained to us that youth games don't require precise timing. He did say, however, that coaches have a hard time coming up with drill and practice routines that engage young players, and the kids at multiple sports would enjoy using Rush Trainer. When he wanted to purchase multiple units at a price several times higher than the consumer's expectation, we knew we were on the right track. We met with several high school coaches and learned about their training process and their difficulties. The main problem that they had was the lack of time pressure during practices. Many players also trained independently and therefore didn't have ability to receive feedback or track their progress. We spoke with several players and coaches from various universities as well, including Michigan coaches Brady Hoke and Harbaugh, and we got insight into top NFL and college teams, and we're learning that Rush Trainer is very useful there as well, but in more focused
And that's
applications.
time out. Okay, I have to thank you, and I have to bring back Dawn, Dynamix or Rush Trainer? What are your thoughts?
Well, these guys both had really interesting products and compelling presentations and have done a lot of work. But I think I'm going to give Dynamix my vote for bribing NPR to run this long segment on how big a problem this was 2 days ago. Clearly, it was something you guys figured out.
Duly noted. Matt?
So I think these are both difficult markets to kind of enter and understand, but I actually appreciated the depth of research that Rush Trainer did in trying to understand their customers.
Okay, Amy.
I'd echo great marketing research and segmentation and learnings by Rush Trainer, very well articulated. But I was very impressed with Dynamix the first time. I still think they're going into a growing market with a great product, so I would give them the nod for me.
Doug, you've got a very tough call here.
It is a tough call, and same with the other teams too. I'm happy to continue to provide mentorship and feedback to you guys in the future. I think, as you said, the NPR story does highlight this is a huge problem, and it's growing, and the nurses are suffering, and so I think you're onto a worthy cause. But I have to agree with Matt, the depth of research that Rush Trainer did, I think really shows how customer discovery can surface not only pain and needs and wants, but pricing and all sorts of validation. So I'll go with Rush Trainer.
Rush Trainer it is. Dynamix, please stick around. Ladies and gentlemen, let's keep the energy up. Feel free to let the mentors or judges know if you agree or disagree with their opinions. Let's not launch Vaulted off on a boo. So how about a quick round of applause for Vaulted? Take it away.
I was like, already? The crowd hates me? What? So yeah, my name's Brett. I'm from Vaulted. And the problem we're dealing with is storage. We found that storage is becoming increasingly difficult. And not just for college students. Again, it sucks for college students, but more so corporations, businesses, homeowners, apartment dwellers. And so what we did was first, we talked to college students because, like we mentioned in round one, we had a really successful summer last year focusing on college students and providing service to them. We made a 100% return on our investment last summer, and our plan for this summer is to quadruple the number of customers that we have. So what we did is we talked to over 100 college students just to make sure we're providing the right services for them and making it easier to store your belongings. But in addition to that, we also want to expand beyond the college market and target other people as well. And so we went to Grand Rapids 2 weeks ago and talked to the Chief Strategy Officer of Rockford Construction. It's the largest construction service company in the Midwest. They've done like $4 billion in sales, and they own a bunch of apartment complexes all over Michigan, and they want to partner with Vaulted to provide service to all of their tenants. So instead of us trying to target the end user, we're looking to partner with companies to get those immediate users. They actually wanted to partner up immediately. They asked if I'd drop out of school to do this. which is kind of cool. I might, so see ya.
Oh, I can see your time is up.
Was it? Okay, well, okay, go to our website, vaultedstorage.com, and if you sign up with your name and email, you'll get 25% off your entire summer storage, so do
All right,
that.
now we're cutting you. All right, next up. Please welcome Change of Mind.
During the first round, we addressed how prevalent anxiety disorders are in America. We've talked to over 70 people about this process. This includes patients, customers, clinicians, high school counselors, and most importantly, patients. These are the three biggest frustrations. 1, patients have to subjectively track their own progress. 2, patients lack a support system and they feel isolated during treatment. 3, many patients are still assigned paper-based homework, which brings up both convenience and privacy concerns. One of the people we've talked to is an elementary school math teacher named Kevin. Kevin is 45 years old and has been teaching for 16 years. He gets help for his anxiety through group clinics and loves the support he gets, but wants the same exact support all the time. He wishes he could recall the details of his anxiety episodes, but can't. Why? Because of this boring anxiety logbook that he has to carry around, which is a burden to log his anxious thoughts and moods in. And worst of all, he's so ashamed he hides it from his own children.
At Change of Mind, we figured out a way for Kevin and millions of anxiety patients like him to create a sort of mental selfie, a quick, private, and interactive way for patients to capture their anxiety. So when Kevin's feeling anxious, he can take a photo or video to bring to his clinician in his next session. And when Kevin feels like he needs to practice a relaxation technique, he can invite someone to join him in an online session that only starts when both of them are logged in, building accountability and a social support system. And when Kevin finally finds a relaxation technique that works for him, he can share it. Most importantly, Kevin's anxious moods and thoughts are tracked in an online anxiety map, helping him to identify patterns in his anxiety and understand the causes behind it. This is a new Kevin, a Kevin that can only exist with this application.
We have to stop Kevin here, I'm sorry. Okay, Change of Mind and Vaulted. Nice job, both teams. Doug, I'm going to ask you for feedback first because this is Amy's team.
So, great job, both teams. Vaulted, I love the way you pitch. As an entrepreneur, you're even pitching discounts to this group. That's the target audience. That's awesome. That's what you should do. But I have to go with Change of Mind. I think your customer research, your archetype development, and what you learned during the process was much, much better. So I'll go with that.
Dawn?
This is really hard because both these groups have done a great job and their businesses are so different. But I think I'll go with Change of Mind because it's such an enormous problem and really needs some way to address
Solution? Matt?
Amy, you have a hard decision. But the best outcome of customer discovery is new customers. And Vaulted proved that they did good customer discovery by getting a new customer segment, new customers, and so I'd go with Vaulted.
And now, Amy, the moment of truth.
Yeah, this is another, I got all the best teams. This is really, really top. I'm very impressed with Change of Mind's pivot, especially since our recent conversation, and I love the work you're doing. However, I think there's a little bit more work that needs to be done on some of the customer and product refinement that I'm be looking forward to working with you and connecting you to more resources on. But I mean, I think what Vaulted has done with customer acquisition is commendable, and I'd like to see them.
Very good. Vaulted moves forward. Change of Mind. Congratulations. Stick around. Believe it or not, I think we are ready for our last cage match. That would be Dawn's matchup. First up is Mate Brothers, or Mate Bros.
Good afternoon, everyone. Last year, a few of your fellow student Wolverines launched Mate Bros, a healthy energy tea blend that fueled their performance en route to winning 2 NCAA and Big Ten championships in men's gymnastics. We made an official social media launch announcement in November, and as entrepreneurs, we sought funding. So we looked to Kickstarter for help. After only 31 days in the month of December, we raised over $44,000 to fund the first round of production. So what have we been up to in 2015? Well, from our Kickstarter, we sold over 5,000 cans to 300 customers, and it was just a concept. But we didn't stop there. We kept the wheels turning into 2015, and we are currently in active discussions with multiple major distributors that can grow Mate Bros and house in over 50,000 physical locations nationwide, and we plan on executing those opportunities for the next 12 months. In addition to our energy tea, we've created official merchandise products and sold over 200 water bottles and t-shirts. But we can't grow this company without representation. We have aligned ourselves with athletes of various sports such as gymnasts, surfers, skateboarders, and just recently, an international Formula race car driver to grow brand awareness and create hype for our product's official release. So, what's next? Well, just last week, our can graphics and specifications were approved by Ball Corporation, and production of over 30,000 Energy Brew cans begins February 27th. Mate Bros provides clear focus and powerful energy to the consumer, but best of all, it does it in a 100% natural way. No additives, no artificial sugars, and no tricks up our sleeves. With Mate Bros on the shelves, there's only one obvious choice, and that's the healthy one. Thank you.
Thank you. Finally, what better way to round out the day than with Bumper? Bumper, you're up.
Hi, my name's Eamon, and my co-founder Mason and I are working on an app called Bumper, which allows you to share those little moments you have with your friends by bumping someone up or down. Now, this is kind of a crazy idea, right? And so rather than just get interviews, we actually wanted to see how people would use this app. So we took this whiteboard to the streets and had random people making a bump for their very first time. The results are cool, but don't take my word for it. Here's an example of Kabar bumping Elkana up 17 for being a great mentor. And here Jordan used a bump to say happy birthday in Italian. Greg, clearly dissatisfied with his bro, bumped him down for not going out on a Tuesday. Megan decided to bump down linear algebra, because why not? Here, Alex bumped Sean up plus 25 for helping her prepare for her future. Here, Julia bumps down Gabe minus 3 for not using prepositions. But then Gabe bumps down Julia minus 4 for no good reason. So clearly some issues there. And this one I totally get because my mom is like my best friend. Yeah, Madison bumped up Pizza House for star cheesy bread. So we learned quite a bit from this. One really encouraging thing is a bump seems to be contagious. You know, once people get the concept, the ideas just start flowing. I would love to bump her, he bumped me, can I bump him back? Of our 41 responses, we learned that about 2/3 were positive and 1/3 were negative. We let people choose any number they wanted for their bumps, and as a result, the mean absolute value was about 38, which helps us set an intuitive scale as we design the app. But by and large, the greatest takeaway from the study is that all relationships, good and bad, have these little
Time
moments.
to bump you, but I'm sure we will find out more.
Thank you.
Okay, Matt, we're starting with you because this is Dawn's last matchup.
Yeah, again, another tough one here. I think Mate Bros is going out with a lot of vigor to try to make something happen. And unfortunately, though, I think I'm going to be bumped down because of my vote for Mate Bros.
Okay, Amy?
Mate Brothers, so impressive, everything you've done. You're off to great things. But the amount of effort and improvement that I've seen from Bumper is really impressive, so they get my vote.
Okay, Doug.
I echo that. I think Mate Bros, you're definitely on the track of launching this. It's great, congratulations. I didn't hear as much customer discovery in the work that you've done, at least what you presented. And I'm very impressed with what Bumper did for a mobile app to show you don't need tech to do customer discovery. You did it with a whiteboard and markers and a camera. That's awesome. And not just because I had cheesy bread at Pizza House today, but I definitely give you my vote.
All right, Dawn, moment of truth.
Yeah, this is a really, really hard one because I'm so impressed with what Mate Bros is doing, and I know that they have just really done an awesome job with their Kickstarter and what they've done so far with their product. That said, they seem to have their Bumper has also gone from 0 to something. Their app's running. They've got their customer discovery on the road. People are loving it, and so I think I'm going to have to pick Bumper on this round, but I really want to help Mate Brothers in any way I possibly can going forward.
Awesome. Congratulations, Bumper. Mate Brothers. How about a round of applause for our mentors? Because I think it's pretty amazing in just the month since we saw these teams for the first time, how they've gone from having an idea or a desire for a startup. Some were brave enough to come out here and tell you that they learned that their idea sucked. But the point is that with our mentors' help, they were able to go through the customer discovery process of, am I solving a problem that matters, or does it only matter to me? With that said, it is time for the audience save. So if I could have out here now, Healthy Share, and all of you should have access to a SurveyMonkey survey. Lexica, Fruit Fairies, Better Hope, Video, Dynamix. Okay, you're getting number 5 slot. All of you now, please go to your SurveyMonkey survey and vote for one of these 8 teams to stay alive in the competition. Congratulations, you all decided to keep the Fruit Fairy. Thank you all teams. Everybody have a good weekend. Have a good break. We'll see y'all in a few weeks.
They gave me a little bit of seed funding to get going with, $1 billion. I know it's tough, but we're making it work.